and welcome to AL.com's Women Who Shape the State program presented by Von Maur. We are here today to recognize and celebrate 30 women that are literally changing the state of affairs throughout Alabama and in many cases, changing the world. First, we want to acknowledge all of our sponsors here this morning. Again, our presenting sponsor, Von Maur, who provided outfits and styling for a special photo shoot featuring our honorees and brand new issue of the Birmingham Magazine, which you can find there on your tables. We also want to thank our honoree reception sponsor, Lilly Pulitzer, who included not one, but 2 live paintings by Lilly Pulitzer print designer, Melissa Sixma Lingo. We will be giving her paintings away to 2 lucky attendees here at the end of the program. You probably saw them out there. They are absolutely beautiful. Our other major sponsors today include Alabama A&M University, the Greater Birmingham Humane Society, Milo's Tea, Intuitive Research, and UAB Surgery. We are excited to have support from these institutions and their leading women. Next, we want to introduce to you Alabama Media Group's Vice President for Content, Miss Michelle Holmes.
Thank you, everyone. It's wonderful to have you. So 24 hours ago, our fantastic events team was putting the final touches on today's fabulous event. And so to spread the love, I turned, of course, to social media to announce my excitement about being here with so many amazing women. In true Twitter style, I got a very quick reply from a man who wasn't impressed. Humph, still waiting to see men who shape the state. He didn't really write the harumph part, but it was clearly part of the sentiment. Now, this fellow is not unknown to me, and shall I say, he knows the state's political landscape well. And despite his 140-character wisecrack, he and I both know men who shape the state is already a thing. It's called Montgomery. But don't worry, today is not about partisan politics, or really politics at all. But it's worth noting that Alabama once again gets to, I'm embarrassed to say this again, thank Mississippi, as well as Wyoming this time, for keeping ourselves from the very, very bottom of the spot on female representation in our state legislature. That's just one of the reasons that today means so much. Because despite these dismal numbers, women leaders are everywhere. From highlighting or heading the Space and Rocket Center, to the Greater Birmingham Humane Society, to the Black Belt Community Foundation. At AL.com, we've told these stories. At AL.com, we tell these stories. And so that's why so many of the names that you'll hear today, you've read on our website, in the Press Register, the Huntsville Times, the Birmingham News, Birmingham Magazine, and you'll keep hearing more. Because while we cover the news, crime, corruption, sports, politics, politics, we also turn out stories of inspiration every single day. That makes me incredibly proud. Proud of the journalists, yes, but also proud of the stories of the people we tell. The stories so many of you share, like Lauren mentioned, across your social networks. The internet, as we all well know, especially here in the beginning of November 2016, is a funny thing. Because despite being a cesspool of fake news and angry relatives, it's a place that rewards great stories by passing them around and around and around, sometimes millions and millions of times. People care. That's one of the reasons we started a brand new program highlighting the world's most prolific power social media users in the universe. That would be girls. Our Southern Girls Project is made with girls, for girls. Google hashtag Southern Girls Project. It's about girls from, about birth to 18. Stories, videos, photos highlight the lives of the next generation to receive the honors we're about to bestow today. We need you, high-powered, hard-charging women and the men who support you, to extend a hand and help amplify the voices of this next generation. Look, the Cubs won the World Series. Anything is possible. So one more time, that's hashtag Southern Girls Project. But first, let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, today we want to honor you for your achievements, your work, your contributions as women who shape the state. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your presence. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm very lucky to have her as my boss. She's got an awesome fire about her. Before we move forward, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Lauren Sisler. I'm a sports reporter and video host at AL.com, and this is something I made a transition. I used to work at CBS 42, made the transition over to the digital world, as I like to call it, back in June, and it has been an awesome experience for me, something I never imagined and envisioned for myself. And we have taken on a new challenge to introduce video to the digital world. And it's something that we have comprised a tremendously talented team to be able to go out and produce content both on the news and sports side. Of course, for me, my primary focus right now is college football. But thank you so much for having me here. It's really an honor and a blessing to have this opportunity to be here in front of so many wonderful people in this room. We need to celebrate our own living heroes here today, don't we, ladies? We are fortunate to have women like Lily here to inspire us and motivate us to do more and ultimately reach our full potential as women who not only shape our state, but shape the future for years to come. Several of you are joined here today by close friends and family members, and I implore you to take this time and a moment to thank them for all the support they have provided you along the way. I see a fist pump. You know, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the love and support of my family and friends. Just over 13 years ago, while a freshman in college, I lost both of my parents to prescription drug overdoses within hours of each other, very unexpectedly, and really with no warning at all. Both were experiencing chronic pain, which ultimately led to their dependency on opiates to be able to function day to day. At the time, my parents were such a big part of my life, and they were really a part of my life and an integral part of my life and instrumental since my early childhood. They were tremendous support for me and my brother Alan through all of our academics and athletics. They were also very instrumental in helping me to earn a college scholarship in gymnastics to compete for Rutgers University. I know a lot of people are always shocked when I say I'm a gymnast. I'm 5'9" and probably the tallest gymnast to ever compete in the sport. And that is minus the wedge. But you know, I share with you my personal story because it has ultimately shaped me into the woman I am today. It forced me to redefine my pathway to success, and it started with a change in my career field. Previously studying sports medicine, I discovered it wasn't the right fit for me. After extensive evaluation, I was looking for a career path that not only fueled my passion, but also provided me with a purpose. As a sports reporter, I get to cover sports and get paid to cover sports for a living. It's a pretty cool gig, and something that many can only dream of. But more importantly, I have a voice and I have a platform, and this is something Michelle mentioned earlier. A platform to share people's stories, and these are stories that I truly believe have the ability to impact the lives of others. And really, that's why we're here today. It gives me a chance to stand up in front of all these wonderful, amazing people in this room, and I truly believe this is on purpose. I greatly appreciate this opportunity to participate in such a magnificent event, and honoring each and every one of you, because together we can all lend a hand in shaping the state of Alabama one person at a time. Now I would like to invite Von Maur Floor Manager Larissa Hamilton to bring a few remarks. We have a brief video to show you as Larissa makes her way to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Von Maur would like to thank Lauren Sisler, Michelle Holmes, Alabama Media Group, Birmingham Magazine, for allowing us to be a part of this wonderful event. Women Who Shape the State was introduced to us a couple years ago when we were first making our place here in the community. And we are pleased and honored to be here again with you guys this year. For those who are not familiar, the Von Maur family opened their first door in the late 1800s. Today, 32 Von Maur stores are scattered around, across 14 states, and we're still expanding. The strength of the Von Maur brand lies in an enjoyable shopping experience and dedication of our employees to serve the community. As our company has expanded over the last 144 years, strong women have been leading force in the company. Currently, many senior leadership roles are held by women, including our Chief Operating Officer, Vice President of Merchandising, and the Vice President of Stores. We are delighted to be here today to help honor another group of strong, talented, creative, and active women in the community. Thank you for attending the photo shoot at our Von Maur location and now letting us spend the afternoon honoring you. Being in the room with you all is very exciting and inspiring for us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Larissa. Now, as you may know, our teams at AL.com and Birmingham Magazine encourage nominations throughout the entire state of Alabama for this recognition program. The response was significant, with more than 100 very strong nominations. We certainly had our hands full to select this final group of 30 women. I would like to ask Larissa of Von Maur and Alabama Media Group's Vice President of Sales, Natalie Pruitt, to come to the front of the stage to present awards to our honorees. And when your name is called, please come to the front to receive your award and take a photo up front. And then I will announce the next person and we'll go on from there. So we first start with Dr. Deborah Barnhart, CEO and Executive Director of the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Huntsville. Dr. Barnhart is leading Alabama's top destination for space exploration education. A retired Navy captain and recipient of NASA's Distinguished Public Service Medal, Dr. Barnhart is leading the Space and Rocket Center through a period of expansion with new permanent exhibits and record attendance. She's a board member for the University of Alabama at Huntsville Foundation, the Air Force Museum Foundation, as well as the Smithsonian Affiliations Advisory Council. Dr. Deborah Barnhart. Our next honoree, Dr. Elizabeth Byerly, pediatric surgeon for the University of Alabama at Birmingham. Dr. Byerly is recognized as one of Alabama's top pediatric surgeons and has been known to share her experience and insights with new surgeons. She is affiliated with numerous organizations, including the National Institutes of Health, Hyundai Foundation, and American Pediatric Surgical Foundation, just to name a few. In her spare time, Dr. Byerly and her husband enjoy traveling to Vietnam to provide medical services. Dr. Elizabeth Byerly. Our next honoree, Deepa Bhatte, President and CEO and founding principal Building and Earth Sciences in Birmingham. Deepa is a member of the Association of Building Contractors, International Council of Shopping Center Developers, and American Council of Engineering Companies, just to name a few. We've got a lot of just to name a fews in here. It's a good thing, though. It's a good problem to have. She is also a member of the United Way of Central Alabama's prestigious Alex de Tocqueville Cabinet. Deepa Bhatte. Our next honoree, Nisa Biddle, Senior Vice President and Birmingham Executive, Ascension Health, which operates St. Vincent's Health System in Birmingham. Nisa has received distinctions from UAB, the North Alabama Girl Scouts, and the American College of Healthcare Executives. Nisa is a past alumnus of the year at UAB and serves on the board of directors for the Alabama Hospital Association. Nisa Biddle. And our next honoree is Dr. Tara Bryant, Chief Medical Officer of Viva Health in Birmingham. Dr. Bryant is passionate about bringing her skills to the service of others, especially people in need. She has served in leadership roles at organizations such as the American Diabetes Association Leadership Council, UAB Palliative and Supportive Community Care Advisory Group, and the University of Alabama's Capstone College of Nursing Board of Visitors. Everyone, Dr. Tara Bryant. And our next honoree we welcome to the stage is Javasia Harris Bowser, founder of C. Jane Wright and instructor at Alabama School of Fine Arts in Birmingham. Javasia is at the heart of Birmingham's blogging community, where C. Jane Wright provides coaching, instruction, and educational events for women to share their voice via blog. Her tagline is, "Every woman has a story." Her organization has helped numerous women build revenue-producing blogs as well as dynamic platforms for advocacy of all kinds. Javasia is a graduate of UC Berkeley School of Journalism, and she's a current teacher at Alabama School of Fine Arts, where she was once a student. Javasia is an example of young talent coming back home. Our next honoree, Dr. Virginia Caples. Dr. Caples, the past president, Alabama A&M University in Huntsville. Dr. Caples, well respected in Huntsville as an effective administrator, but also a dynamic woman with a legacy of service. She was the first woman to serve as president of her university, and she is the owner of 2 radio stations in Huntsville. Dr. Caples has received distinctions from numerous civic organizations in Huntsville, as well as her alma maters, Iowa State University and Alcorn State University. Dr. Caples still makes time to serve as a Sunday school teacher and deacon at Church Street, Cumberland Presbyterian Church. Our next honoree, Mary Margaret Carroll, attorney, Fine Getty and Associates in Montgomery. In her role at Fine Getty, Mary Margaret worked with State Representative Mike Jones Jr. to develop a comprehensive criminal justice reform bill. Mary Margaret serves as a mentor to student leaders at the University of Alabama and serves on the board of directors for the Water 282 International, Birmingham Children's Theater, and the University of Alabama Blackburn Institute. Mary Margaret Carroll. Our next honoree, Allison Black Cornelius, CEO of Greater Birmingham Humane Society. Allison took the reins at the Humane Society 2 years ago after long involvement as a key volunteer, instrumental in establishing programs like Pets for Life and Pet Pantry, and a partnership with Auburn University's College of Veterinary Medicine. Allison has served in leadership roles at the Alabama Veterinary Medical Foundation, Vestavia Hills Parks and Recreation Foundation, just to name a few. Prior to joining the Humane Society, Allison founded and led Blackfish, a leadership development organization. Allison Black Cornelius. Our next honoree, who unfortunately could not be here to join us today, Dorothy Davidson, CEO of Davidson Technologies in Huntsville. Dorothy has a long distinguished year in science and technology. She once served as a research mathematician for the U.S. Air Force at the Pentagon. She is also a renowned philanthropist in the Huntsville area and has actively founded and co-founded several public charities in her community. Dorothy Davidson. Our next honoree, Lee Davis, Senior Vice President and Deputy General Counsel of Southern Company Services, as well as General Counsel for Southern Nuclear. Lee has deep roots in the Birmingham business community, where she serves on the board of the Alabama Symphony Orchestra and McWane Science Center. Personally, Lee serves as a Sunday school teacher at St. Francis Xavier Catholic Church and on the board of the Alabama Department of Archives and History. Lee Davis. Our next honoree, Michelle Roper Elrod, Executive Vice President and Head of Marketing of Regions Bank. Michelle has been instrumental in the evolution of Regions and helped make it the banking juggernaut it is today. As head of the marketing, Michelle oversees the bank's marketing and communication strategy. She is a graduate of Momentum Birmingham and the Colleges of Business and Communications at the University of Alabama. Michelle has a long history of service and affiliation in Tuscaloosa with groups like Mental Health Association of Tuscaloosa and the Tuscaloosa Spouse Abuse Network, just to name a few. Everyone, Michelle Roper Elrod. Our next honoree, Shay Farley. Shay Farley, Policy Counsel of Southern Poverty Law Center. Shay is the first policy counsel appointed at the Southern Poverty Law Center, an organization widely considered one of the nation's top advocates and watchdogs for inequity and injustice in a variety of areas. She is best known as the go-to person for education, presentations, and deep knowledge around issues of poverty and justice in Alabama. Shay has served on task forces and covenants on behalf of elected officials in Alabama, as well as the White House, on issues ranging from prison reform to predatory lending. Everyone, Shay Farley. Our next honoree, Dr. Mona Fuad, Founding Director of UAB Minority Health and Health Disparities Research Center at the UAB School of Medicine. Dr. Fuad wears many hats at UAB, including administrator, researcher, speaker, advocate, and advisor. Egyptian-born, Dr. Fuad brings a global perspective to her work to discover and reconcile healthy disparities found in minority communities. Dr. Fuad serves as an advisor for several prominent health organizations, including the Moffitt Cancer Center and Research Institute in Tampa, Florida, and the MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston, Texas. Everyone, Dr. Mona Fuad. Our next honoree, Rosalind Houston. Rosalind Houston, Chief Talent and Culture Executive for BBVA Compass. Vision, wisdom, and grace are works frequently used for BBVA's top culture executive. Rosalind sets strategy and accountability throughout the bank for leadership and people development. She has been active in board roles with the Girls Inc. of Central Alabama, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and Camp Smile a Mile. Previously, Rosalind served as a general manager for Bishop T.D. Jakes Ministry, the Potter's House in Dallas, Texas. Rosalind Houston. Our next honoree, Mary Scott Hunter. She's a member of the Alabama Board of Education representing District 8 in Huntsville. Mary Scott has been described as a true servant leader, having served in the U.S. Air Force and now serving as an elected official for the Alabama Board of Education District 8. Mary Scott is also an entrepreneur and co-owner of Terrell Technologies and continues her service on numerous boards of directors throughout Alabama, including the Association for Corporate Counsel and the Boys and Girls Club of North Alabama. Mary Scott's diversity of life and professional experience give her the vision and strength to pack a mean punch. I'm told to tell you guys to take a look at her bicep. Our next honoree, Deborah J. Long, Executive Vice President, Chief Legal Officer and Secretary, Protective Life Corporation in Birmingham. In her executive counsel role, Deborah is one of the top insurance industry lawyers in Alabama. She has invested heavily in her profession with service to organizations like the National Organization of Life and Health Guarantee Associations, Association of Life Insurance Counsel, and the University of Alabama Law School Foundation. Deborah has also a passion for community organizations like A+ Education Partnership and Big Brothers Big Sisters of Greater Birmingham. Everyone, Deborah J. Long. Our next honoree, Cindy Lowry. Cindy Lowry is the Executive Director of Alabama Rivers Alliance in Birmingham. Conservation has been part of Cindy Lowry's personal and professional life, and she lives her mission every day in her role at the Alliance. Cindy's involvement and partnerships with groups like the Locust Fork River, Alabama Organizing Project, and Arise Citizens Policy Project give her organization visibility and access to influencers of conservation policy. Cindy Lowry. Our next honoree, Felicia Lucky. Felicia Lucky, the Executive Director of the Black Belt Community Foundation based in Livingston, Alabama. Felicia is leading the 12-year-old foundation in an effort to raise awareness and long-term support for the 12-county service area of the foundation. Felicia is involved with community development and fund development organizations such as True Fund Financial Services, Grant Makers for Southern Progress, and Southeastern Council on Foundations. Felicia is a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority and a graduate of Leadership Alabama and the Delta Leadership Institute. Felicia Lucky. Our next honoree, Merceria Ludgood, Mobile County Commissioner for District 1. Merceria is considered a stateswoman in South Alabama and in Montgomery, where she is often called upon to raise her voice in the Mobile area. She has an extensive list of associations, too many to name here, but as you might have guessed it, she too is a Sunday school teacher at her church, Friendship Missionary Baptist Church. Merceria Ludgood. Our next honoree, Betsy Underwood McAtee. You guys know where to find good barbecue? CEO of Dreamland Barbecue in Birmingham. Betsy's nominators consider her an out-of-the-box thinker. No one here would argue that she has built one of the most recognizable food brands in Alabama. Betsy is a past board chair for Camp Smile a Mile, a founding investor in the Birmingham Business Alliance, and a member of the Samford Business School Advisory Board. Betsy Underwood McAtee. Our next honoree, unfortunately, could not join us here today, Dr. Sarah Parkak, founding director of the Laboratory for Global Observation at UAB, president of Global Explorer, CEO of Spectra Globe Technologies, and winner of the 2016 TED, also known as TED Prize. Unfortunately, Sarah, as I said, could not be here today, but we are all in awe of her international recognition for her work at UAB in the field of anthropology. She is truly a modern trailblazer. Everyone, Dr. Sarah Parkak. Our next honoree today is Margaret Purcell, Executive Director, Resiliency Initiative at the University of Alabama System Office. Now, a number of people nominated Margaret for the honor of being a woman who shapes the state, many of them students that benefited from her program. Margaret's passion of self-sufficiency and ensuring that young people are equipped to make good decisions and have strong, positive peer connections. Margaret's efforts garnered the organization recognition as one of the best community engagement projects at the University of Alabama. Everyone, Margaret Purcell. Our next honoree, Dr. Marsha Rollerson, founder and medical director, Reach Out and Read Alabama in Brewton, Alabama. Dr. Rollerson has been responsible for ensuring more than 50,000 new books were distributed in her rural pediatric clinics. She expanded her work into the Reach Out and Read America to reach the rest of the state. Dr. Rollerson has taken her work to the governance and policy level through her efforts at organizations like the American Academy of Pediatrics Committee on Federal Government Affairs, Voices for Alabama's Children, and a tenure as president of the Medical Association of the State of Alabama. Dr. Marsha Rollerson. Our next honoree, Martha Salter, Program Supervisor at the Penelope House in Bay Minette, Alabama. Martha has already received significant recognition for her effort with awards from the Presidential Point of Light Award from George H.W. Bush and Victim Advocate of the Year from the state of Alabama. Martha has found creative ways to serve victim families, such as authoring a book called Let's Go to Court to prepare children going through the criminal justice system. Unfortunately, Martha could not be here with us today. That is not correct. Martha is here. You're not Martha. Okay, I got scared. She's taking a picture. I'm going insane. Thank you very much, everyone. Martha Salter. And our next honoree, Christina Scott. Christina Scott, the Executive Director of Alabama Possible in Birmingham. As one of the leading anti-poverty voices in Birmingham, in Alabama, Christina rarely misses moments to advocate for causes she believes in, especially the work being done at Alabama Possible. Christina is a board member of the Sidewalk Film Festival and a key leader in the United Way of Central Alabama's Bold Goals initiative. Christina Scott. Our next honoree, Cheryl Smedley. Cheryl Smedley, the Executive Director of Selma and Dallas County Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Information. Cheryl is a certified Chamber of Commerce professional with diverse leadership experiences ranging from International Paper, Riverdale Mill Advisory Board, to the Selma Children's Choir and Orchestra, to the Black Belt Community Foundation you heard about earlier. Cheryl is responsible for raising awareness and interest in Selma area's business opportunities and community attractions. Everyone, Cheryl Smedley. Our next honoree, Kais Stevens. Kai Stevens is the poet and founder and director of Alabama Prison Arts plus Education at Auburn University. Kais is a former town council member, a former volunteer firefighter, and animal rescue professional. Kais combined her passion for writing and sharing poetry with her passion for education as a tool for overcoming life's toughest challenges, including prison. Her program has received recognition among prison reform advocates in Alabama, as well as from the White House. Kai Stevens. Our next honoree, Yolanda Sullivan. Yolanda Sullivan, the CEO of YWCA Central Alabama. In her role, Yolanda leads one of the most respected not-for-profit organizations in the Birmingham area, providing services for women and their children and fighting racism at the same time. Yolanda has been active with a number of organizations and currently serves on the board of directors for the Community Foundation of Greater Birmingham. One of Yolanda's greatest passions is her son, Sam, and giving back to the community through the young people she mentors, and serving as a confirmation class teacher at St. Francis of Assisi Catholic Church. Yolanda Sullivan. And last but not least, Tricia Wallwork. Tricia Wallwork, CEO and chairman of Milo's Tea in Birmingham. Milo's Tea is brewed just outside of Birmingham in Bessemer, but the tea is known throughout the country. A family-owned business for many years in Central Alabama, Milo's has fought hard to preserve and protect its identity while growing. Tricia and her team keeps her company connected through organizations like the Birmingham Museum of Art, Glenwood Autism, and Behavioral Health Center. Everyone, Tricia Wallwork. I would like to thank each and every one of you for the opportunity to serve as your MC today. Be sure to visit AL.com to learn more about these fabulous leaders and other happenings in our community. Also, you have the Birmingham Magazine there. Take one of those with you on your way out the door. You can also find me along with my other talented video sports team and at AL.com across all of our social media outlets. Social media, it's a beautiful thing. Don't forget to use it. Alabama Women. Hashtag it. I'd also like to thank our presenting sponsor, Von Maur, honoree reception sponsor, Lily Pulitzer, and other major sponsors, including Alabama A&M University, the Greater Birmingham Humane Society, Milo's Tea, Intuitive Research, and UAB Surgery. Now, I'd like to invite Michelle Holmes back to the stage to close us out.
Thank you. Now, Lauren may have thought that we hired her to write and talk about football, and we did, but really, we hired her because she's fantastic. It's really been our honor to put on this event today and to be joined with so many amazing organizations, community partners, and fabulous women who shape the state. 3.5 years ago or so, I set out from Northern California to move to Alabama and was asked more times that I can count, do they even wear shoes there? But you know what? I don't actually care. I don't know about you, but I didn't look at the shoes of any single woman who came up here. I listened to the accomplishments. I listened to the drive and the passion, and it's overwhelming. So, yes, a lot of world-changing things happen in Silicon Valley, but they happen right here in Alabama, and you're among these women now. So please, one more round of applause.